How's it going, everybody? Matt here with UTV Obsessions, and today I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the strength and durability parts that we sell for your Can-Am X3. We're not reinventing the wheel with anything here. We're just simply selling parts that you need for your X3, and if you're uneducated on what these parts are and what they do, we're going to just kind of go over that. We have the opportunity to have one of our customers' cars here that we've done pretty much everything needed to do if you're going to drive these things hard. Obviously, it's not something that's going to break right off the showroom floor, but if you are an aggressive driver and if you have whoops, or if you're in the whoops often like we have in our Oregon dunes, you're going to start bending parts, breaking parts, and start wearing stuff out that you need to address on your Can-Am X3. So we'll kind of go over what we did on this car here. This is one of our good customers. We've done a lot of performance stuff to it as well. We just got done with a cage. We got some rugged radios in the car. It's on 110. We just did a Trail Performance intercooler, but most of what we're going to talk about is strength and durability, stuff that's going to keep your car together without having to go to the local dealership when you're at the dunes and get a replacement A-arm like he's had to do in the past and start wearing parts out before they should. So we'll start with the first thing you see. CT Works new shock tower brace. This is kind of our go-to as far as our shock tower brace. Obviously the looks, you see a lot of that. A lot of people buy them just for the looks. It does a lot more than being a piece of bling. It obviously does a good job of that too. But this converts your shock tower brace from being just a little gusset that goes between the bolts to tying everything down into the main frame of the rig. Right now it's a kind of a single shear. Your bolts go through the plate. All it does is hold the little plastic portion of the radiator and kind of hangs out there. Now we have bracing that goes from here, ties into the frame down below. Now everything's tied together. Your shocks aren't going to have, nothing's going to flex, and it's all going to stay where it should. We'll move down to the A-arms. We ended up doing some S3 A-arms on these. S3 CT Works, that's going to be our go-to on parts for the X3s. Obviously these A-arms are a lot beefier than your factory ones. You go up to your factory ones and touch them like this, you're going to hear a lot of tingy noise. Super thin. He went into a little G-out with this and bent the last A-arm, not even driving hard. And then we'll talk about gusset kit. Gusset kit's obviously something we're going to recommend first. Obviously all these parts are something that they're all going to need, but a lot of people do them in steps. So gusset kit, that just makes everything dual shear, factory, single shear bolts. You've got a lot of stress on that bolt with this A-arm, just being on a bolt that's kind of hanging out on top of this thin little frame. So we did a CT Works gusset kit. All the green parts you see, some of them are kind of hard to see back there, but definitely one of the first things you want to do to your Can-Am X3 when you buy it, if you're going to drive it hard at all. Longevity wise, it's going to be something you want to think about as well. So A-arms, gusset kit, shock tower, that's going to be our first three kind of things that we're going to recommend as far as suspension goes in the front. And then we'll come around here to the back. This one we just went with S3 radius rods on it. A lot stronger than factory. We've got Heim joints on each end of them, so they're nice and adjustable. So as far as the radius rods go, where they bolt here to the frame, super thin. So once they start wearing in a little bit, you're going to start wearing this piece out. So we did a CT Works rear radius race plate kit. What your kit's going to come with is it's going to come with 3 of these plates, one for each set of radius rods. It's also going to come with a drill template. You're going to bolt this in to your frame right here, and you're going to drill the frame out to bolt these plates in. This adds all kinds of strength on the back side of the frame right here, doubles the thickness. Now your bolts go through from the back instead of in from the front, and it makes things a lot simpler. Obviously a lot stronger radius rod, and then you come into toe link support kit. Some of the newer models aren't going to need this, but the older ones definitely do. This center rod is going to have a lot of abuse out here on this knuckle. Where that's cast aluminum through here, it needs a lot more support. So we will do a toe link support kit from Shock Therapy. It adds some misalignment spacers in your knuckle and adds a lot of strength. So anytime you're looking to upgrade your X3, whether it be performance, durability, suspension, this car's actually also got a MTS spring kit on it. But we have a team here that's real knowledgeable on these parts and what you need to do if you're going to drive your car hard in the dunes. We've got a lot of whoops that we deal with here in Oregon, and it's just stuff that you need to do before you start wearing parts out. So no better place to buy them than utvobsessions.com. Thanks.